Tammy Slaton's journey from darkness to light was marked by deep emotional and physical transformations. Surpassing her own weight loss goals saved Tammy from a life of despair and illness, giving her hope and joy. Tammy's path to self-acceptance and happiness showcases the power of perseverance and self-love. In 1995, the Smashing Pumpkins released a double album, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. The concept was centered on the change from day to night, and 1000 LB SISTRR star Tammy Slaton went through a similar transition. Out of the darkness of super-morbid obesity, Tammy moved into the light. During her journey, she had so many moods. On the bleakest days, Tammy was depressed and in despair. After bariatric surgery, she began to smile. What happened to Tammy's body affected her in deep and profound ways, on a soul level. Losing hundreds of pounds was the catalyst for a whole new life. While nothing will ever be perfect, Tammy's dramatic body makeover opened her mind. The woman who contemplated taking her own life is now dancing joyfully in TikTok videos. The changes in her psyche shine through in her before and after photos. The before images are tinged with melancholy. In after photos, she's lit from within. Tammy Slaton looked so sad at a higher weight. Tammy Slaton's body confidence was very low. In the Instagram post shown above, Tammy looked so unhappy. She posed in a skeleton shirt but didn't smile. In a way, photos like this seemed like cries for help. Without saying a word, Tammy was communicating her sadness to her followers. With her hair pulled back in a bun, a trash tube, and bleak lighting, Tammy silently shared so much about her life experience. In this picture, she was alone, and her porcelain skin had an unhealthy pallor. Being so heavy made Tammy sick. At one point, she was in the hospital, hooked up to a ventilator. That medical device was keeping her alive. Sometimes addictions are so severe that they consume people. This is what happened to Tammy. Her emotional eating was out of control. As she tried to fill up the empty spaces inside of her, she created more problems. However, her issues with food started early on in childhood. That life can change. That you're not stuck in vain. We're not the same, we're different. Tonight, Smashing Pumpkins. Sometimes people carry their childhood traumas with them into adulthood. It can be hard to look back and forgive others, and forgive oneself. It can be so difficult to change. In Tammy's case, a cold and distant mother set the stage for the kind of unhappiness that made her daughter turn to food for comfort. Those who mock Tammy should stop and think about what's happening inside of her, but few trolls take the time to do that. Tammy's someone who ate too much because she was hurting. She didn't know what to do with her pain. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. As an adult, Tammy was still suffering. Living with an addiction creates so much stress. It compounds the issues that are already there. Many people who live with addiction are depressed. Tammy had to dig deep. Somehow, she did find the strength to stick to a diet and qualify for weight loss surgery. Without that procedure, she might have died like her ex-husband, Caleb Willingham, did. Yes, they split up before he passed away, but he used to be her one and only. She'll never forget the gentlemanly man who treated her so well. As per Yahoo News, she said, "My quality of life has changed so much. Before I went to rehab, I was bitter, unhappy, very suicidal, depressed, and just mean. Everybody hated me, and they still do. Oh well." Tammy Slaton's playful after weight loss. She's also beautiful. After all that darkness, the sun came out. Tammy began to feel hope. She began to let go of the pain that was eating her alive. Tammy said, as per Yahoo News, "I value life now where before I hated it. I hated everything about life. And now, I'm just going with it. Life throws me a curveball, and I just do my best to jump over the hurdle. Well, let's face it, I'm not jumping nowhere." Tammy once weighed 725 pounds. Obviously, it was very difficult for her to reach her goal weight of 550 pounds. That's how much she needed to weigh before a surgeon would greenlight her bariatric procedure. Despite being depressed, Tammy did it. During a pivotal weigh-in, the number on the scale was 534 pounds. This was really one of the brightest moments of Tammy's life. 1000 LB SISTRR's Amy Slaton found it fairly easy to qualify for her own weight loss surgery, but Tammy had a harder time. She would backslide. When she finally hit this goal, it was like sunrise. The cold darkness that had crept into her mind seeped away. She would have the operation, and that would change her life forever. Tammy worked hard to get to the point. It was not easy. People who want to lose weight should commit to long-term change like she did. Tammy Slayton felt depressed when she was heavier. She was in so much pain. On Instagram, before weight loss, Tammy was clearly in distress. In the picture shown above, she wore black lipstick. Her face was very full, and her smile didn't reach her eyes. Tammy was unhappy. Her attempts to slim down had repeatedly failed. Her romances with feeders had been toxic. As Tammy stumbled on her fitness journey and in her love life, her dreams were embers turning to ashes. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. The sense of hopelessness that addiction brings has led people to the rocks. Tammy's health was very poor. She'd once been hospitalized due to carbon dioxide poisoning. She was so heavy that it was hard to move. All that soothed her was the food that was slowly killing her. Most people would crumble when faced with these sorts of hurdles, but Tammy didn't give up. She changed instead. When she decided that she would truly change, her metamorphosis began, if only in her mind. Soon enough, the caterpillar would become a butterfly. Tammy Slayton's enjoying the simple things. Her life is easier. Tammy hid in the shadows. Now, she's comfortable in broad daylight. She's reaching out to others, and the people who love her help her to endure even the most daunting challenges. Tammy still deals with haters online, but she has a tribe, including her pal Hallie Michelle, who's pictured with Tammy above. As they lounge by the lake, they look so relaxed. Tammy's smiling and well-groomed, the black lipstick is gone, replaced by a cheery ruby red stain that brightens her face. Tammy will always have problems, but maybe the worst is over. Trapped in her body, she felt like a prisoner. She was caged by obesity. Her weight hindered her movements and kept her from experimenting with life. It sapped her strength. Now that she weighs 287 pounds, Tammy's real self is emerging. She's becoming the woman she should be. Tammy's happy, humorous, and playful. She's a fun person. Tammy Slayton's blooming like a lily. Her future seems so bright. There's no farewell from pain. Everyone has to feel it. However, love for herself and others and a much thinner body are working wonders. She looks and feels better. She can move around. Tammy can even dance. A lot of people have disabilities, and Tammy was disabled due to her weight. She was frustrated by the limitations. It's hard for people who aren't disabled to understand. The feeling of being trapped in one's body, with no real hope of any change, can trigger rage that's intense and primal. That's why Tammy used to lash out. Billy Corgan memorably sang, "Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage." And Tammy probably knows exactly what he means. However, now, she's free from disability, and Tammy is someone else. She's beautiful inside and out. The 1,000-old sister's star is bathed in golden light. Her nights aren't bleak, but starlit. Tammy's real fans wish her well, sympathizing with the woman who suffered for decades. She'll always have her critics, but sensitive people understand that she's been through the ringer. Now that she's opened her heart, she's showing the world who she really is. That woman is lovable. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.